Game number 1 is getting underway right now, and I cannot wait. I just hope they're not playing Grim Patron versus Grim Patron.
It's going to be face hunter back and forth. Just mirror matches of face hunter.
I don't think it is. We're going to find out because it's getting underway. Kranich versus ErA. This is the match I've been looking forward to all season.
And look at that. We already see an unconventional card here in ErA. We've seen him play it in this deck, but that's a Dark Iron Dwarf.
Yeah,
I think this is the Warlock deck. Zoo.
Where else are you going to fit a Dark Iron Dwarf in? I don't think this is like Druid or anything.
Oh, okay. I'm excited to see Kranich play Rogue because you don't know what it is.
There's going to be a Shadow Step and Arcane Golems in here. I just know it.
I'm going to be so disappointed.
Show me his hand.
Oh, it's so normal. I'm disappointed.
There's going to be something weird. There has to be something new. There's going to be a Leroy in here or something.
Matt Pagel.
Kranich. Got to focus on this one. His hand is pretty darn strong right now, but he's going to have to fight against a lot of aggression.
ErA with a great start here. Argent Squire into Haunted Creeper. I said Haunted Protector. Haunted Creeper. I don't know why. But yeah, he's got a good board to follow up with Knife Juggler here. You can follow up with Imp Gang Boss. It's a great card against the Rogue deck because almost all the removal is damage based. So you're going to get some stuff left over. Plus, if you get any kind of minion combat going on, he could throw a lot of knives here.
Now, you're looking at this spot, and SI7 Agent doesn't look bad, but if he finds an Abusive Sergeant afterwards, things could be looking a little bit grim for him. So to see him play that, I'd be a little bit surprised considering the deck that ErA's playing.
Yeah, so how would you play this turn?
I think I just dagger up. You're looking at a pretty strong Poison Coin SI7 Agent turn afterwards.
Well, if you dagger up, do you attack the Argent Squire?
I don't because I intend to use the Deadly Poison.
Yeah, you want to deal with what's coming up next.
Yeah. He is going to attack, though, so some different plans in mind. We're going to see exactly how this one unfolds. I think he's waiting for a little bit more context from ErA before he kind of commits to a game plan.
Okay. Great draw from ErA here, too, by the way. Picking up this Lotheb, he's going to be able to curve right into it and get a huge lead from Kranich if he doesn't get a control of the board.
Yep.
Ooh, Phantom Knives picked up. That's a pretty good one. Once he starts to get a little control of this board, any of the minions left over from Imp Gang Boss and Hardened Creeper can get picked off by this Phantom Knives.
So when Kranich just played it this way, I would expect Earthen Ring Farseer to hit the board here.
So many options.
Yeah, you have to believe he's going to Earthen Ring Farseer when he plays it this way.
You can tell he's thinking about every single line of play, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really aggressive ones that involve prepping a Phantom Knives this turn after SI7 agenting.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I like that one bit.
I mean, it gives you a Imp Gang Boss of 3 damage on it, and you have a 3/3. But
yeah, it is going to be Earthen Ring. Just try to get some presence on board and force ErA to have to invest into this.
Another decent pickup here from ErA if he doesn't want to use Knife Juggler this turn, but. With the life tap, you have to believe it's going to be Knife Juggler.
It's tough to pass up Imp King Boss and Haunted Creeper when you have this.
Yeah,
when you have this Juggler.
Probably should run the.
Yep, I like using this one first. Try to just blow him out of the water, and if you miss, you miss.
I'm not so sure. I think I might have led with the Imp Gang Boss into the minion there, but. Now, is this going to be an Azure Drake?
Oh yeah,
prep into fan.
100%. There's not a better play.
Yeah, Azure Drake prep fan seems like a pretty solid turn.
Get a 4/4 on the board. You pick up an extra card. You dig one deeper with the Phantom Knives. You clear out his board except for an Imp.
Even picks up a backstab as well.
Yeah, so he can combo his SI and dagger up next turn. Things are looking beautiful for Kranich this game.
Yeah, these are the draws out of the Rogue deck that are really hard to beat with aggressive decks.
Yeah, when they get the right mixtures of minions and spells, it is not a joke. This becomes one of the best decks out there.
Now, ErA is going to slow him down a little bit here with this Lotheb. Directly challenges the Azure Drake as well.
Kranich, got to think about this one for a minute. I'm pretty surprised by it. So he's not going to dagger up. Just wants to get minions on board. This is going for face then. We're just going to start pushing a little bit of damage, which is also important too. Against Warlock, every single time that you take a little bit of that life total off and you don't have a massively favorable turn, it's important to be doing this because eventually you get to a spot where if you run the Warlock out of cards, they can't just keep drawing 2 a turn.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you're racing with them, if they're ever slightly ahead and you're always trading all the time, they're going to be able to life tap. And they're going to be able to get in the game by doing that. They can draw so many extra cards a turn, but if you're dealing them damage, it makes it a liability for them to take that damage.
Violet Teacher is about one of the best draws that he could have possibly had. Violet Teacher and Eviscerate on this Void Caller. I mean, this is the turn you want to go for it. If you're he's going to actually Eviscerate this 4/4, which I don't mind either. It gives ErA a little bit extra time to maybe set up his hand if he had multiple demons, but it also gives him more time to actually draw demons as well. Like, say he didn't have one right now, but Kranich isn't interested in that. There's also not a way that this Void Caller dies unless ErA actually Abusive Sergeants his opponent's minion.
Yeah, you never know. You might see something crazy like that this turn. You know, getting this Doom Guard into here, which he needs to play the Flame Imp first if he's going to try to make that kind of play. But
Yeah, he's just going to be satisfied with trading effectively.
yeah, and taking care of this here.
Yep. Wants the juggle on this 1/1.
This Flame Imp's going to be a liability for him here as well. He's going to take 3, and this Backstab's going to be pretty good against this board.
Yeah, this is possibly a nightmare for ErA here.
That or Kranich can get really aggressive Blade Flurry.
I don't mind just the Tinker Sharpsword Oil play. You know, if he just daggers up, goes Deadly Poison, Tinker Sharpsword Oil.
Yeah, it's
you're
a
looking
lot
at
of
3,
pressure.
4, 5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage.
Yeah, he can get a lot of pressure on ErA this turn, and that might be the way he needs to do.
Yeah, this is 13 damage with a 6-point dagger and a Blade Flurry afterwards. This is 100% the direction you take. Your opponent has to deal you 23 damage in the next turn. So, gonna take a more defensive route. This is, honestly, this is a little bit interesting for me considering how much pressure that he actually had. But, you know, this does clear out ErA's entire board and deal 6 points of damage. It's hard to argue with that.
Yeah, this is a big clear and a ton of damage, and ErA only with 1 card left in his hand.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's going to be really hard for ErA to use Life Tap effectively after this turn. That's a BGH in this deck.
Which isn't, I don't think it's much of a surprise when you have Dark Iron Dwarf in the build. You know, a lot of times rolling into turn 7, say you buff an Emperor Thorson and then big game hunter it.
Yep.
You know, it's a lot better than having to run all your minions in.
Plus, Kranich is playing quite a bit of Druid as well, and it's not, you know, terrible in that matchup.
So Iron Beak Owl gonna be the silence, and wow, what a pickup for Kranich. You know, these two lines kind of yield the same effective way. This one gives ErA a little bit more time, I think, but also it poses no immediate risk of just outright dying to like 2 power overwhelmings in a Doom Guard or something.
Yeah, I mean, well, this also just, you know, threatens lethal a ton of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if there's a 2-card combination that ErA could have here.
He's actually just gonna scoop it up, which is really surprising. You know, Defender of Argus draw.
Yeah.
Could have done that. I mean, I guess, you know, maybe he saw his draw ahead of time, but he's gonna tuck tail and run to this one. Not gonna let Kranich deliver that final blow.